Hello chaps, welcome once again to John Robson Guitar Tuition. As always, I do hope you're well. Today we're going to take a look at the kind of rhythm stroke lead guitar style of playing. You know, not quite rhythm guitar, not quite full-on lead guitar, somewhere in between. The type of playing you associate, I guess, primarily with Jimi Hendrix and anyone that's been influenced by him, you know, so that would probably be Stevie Ray Vaughan, John Mayer, John Frusciante, those kind of guys. This is just my approach to playing in this style, so it's not really guaranteed to be an authentic representation of how those players play, but then again, who wants to play authentic all the time? Anyway, here's a little demonstration that I did, just a little improvisation. It's first take, one take thing, so see if you can spot the mistakes. But it's got a nice feel to it, so I decided to go with it. I've entitled this Jimmy Ray Mayer's Chili Pepper, so that kind of tells you the heritage of it, and you'll see the chords on screen that I'm playing to, and then we'll break it down and see exactly what ideas I was using and, you know, how I was coming up with the licks that I was playing. Here it is. So there you go, it came out alright in the end, didn't it? What I was doing there was a bunch of different things, little pentatonic fills, of which there were plenty, some chord embellishments, double stops, and a little bit of chord substitution as well. Coming up next, there is a bit of a detailed bar-by-bar breakdown of exactly what was going through my twisted little mind as I was improvising that piece of music. Here it is. Okay, so first up we've got a C major chord, and I use this bar chord shape. I'll probably just use this little kind of shortened, more power chord version of it. Like that. And what this enables me to do is to morph quite easily into a C major pentatonic run. And I can kind of go between the chord and little pentatonic fills like that. You'll notice that I'm playing double stops, pairs of notes. This is what helps create the impression or continue the feel of there being a chord happening rather than just a single note lead part. And we continue the theme of double stops into the next lick, which is based around some C major scale thirds. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail on, you know, figuring out harmonized major scale intervals in this video, because I did an entire video on the subject very recently, which I'll link to in the description. Okay, but basically you can get little runs that go like this. So I use some little run like that to take me into an A minor chord, which is the next chord. I do the old Hendrix thing of getting your thumb round the top to play the root note, and then just bar those strings out, which actually gives you A minor 7. Then I can add a ninth in here, and then do all of the same hammer-on, pull-off, twiddly things that we did for the C major, because C major pentatonic is also A minor pentatonic, so any of the licks that worked for C major will also work for A minor. Like that. Next chord we go to an F. So Again, I'm thinking in terms of this shape here, and I just basically take the same approach that I used for the C major chord and transpose it up a fourth, 5 frets, so it's in F. And then go up to the G, which is the next chord. And then, again, I'm just using some thirds built from C major. And little hammer-on, pull-offy kind of things. I'm thinking, let's move the guitar around a little bit. I'm thinking partially here in terms of this G major pentatonic coming off the open strings. And these to land back on the C chord again, like that. Then, where do we go next? Yeah, I'll play a few more kind of C major pentatonic things based upon that run that we've seen a couple of times now. Then when it goes to the A minor chord again, I don't play any actual chord as such. I'm just playing double stops. This time, instead of thirds, we're using the C major scale arranged in sixths. Oops. Excuse my mistake there, I put a B flat note in, but that's basically the... So I think I played something like... It's at this point that we change key, however, and we go to an A flat chord, A flat major, after the A minor chord. This is, we're in the key of C major, and this chord here is actually, think of it as a borrowed chord from the key of C minor, okay? And I just, again, a very Hendrixy sort of thing here, where instead of playing the full bar chord shape like that, I just play like the baby version of it, thumb round the top to provide the root note if I happen to kind of go anywhere near the 6th string, and just mute the 5th string. And then what I've got here is a nice little straight line of notes that my little finger can attack there, there and there, okay? So I can get all kinds of that kind of thing, and immediately that starts sounding a little bit Hendrixy just the moment you do that. Then after that we go to a G chord, where I basically take the same approach as I did on the A minor chord using sixths, and I think of that little run there. Then we're back to a C chord again, and again, remember the idea I used on the A flat? I'm just transposing that up to a C chord up here. You know, I've got the same little embellishments and stuff that I can... The next lick is just pure double stops and pentatonic. If we think in terms of C major or A minor pentatonic, because that's the chord that we're going to, an A minor chord, then, you know, I've got that kind of thing there. And what I do is... then, next chord we've got is F, and what I do there is this thing here where we just do this kind of hammer on. That's a C chord. If I play those 3 strings like that, 4th, 3rd and 2nd strings. And if I hammer on with that shape, that perfectly articulates the sound of an F chord, because that is now an F chord. And then I just do some F major sixths here, like just, as I said, just double stops like we did with the A minor chord. That kind of thing, and with the G chord. I'm just doing some F major sixths. Like that, I think it was what I played, some kind of lick like that. And then, coming after that, there's a little bit of chord substitution. We've got the G chord again, or G7. And what I can do here is I can take any of the chords that naturally occur in the key of C major, which is our home key for this piece, and I can play them over the top of basically a G chord or just a G bass. Basically, that's a D minor chord, but if you put a G bass note underneath that, that actually gives the sound of G ninth. There's an E minor chord, put a G bass note underneath that, and it sounds like a G major sixth. So you're getting kind of a dominant ninth to major sixth kind of sound. And then I just repeat it up here again with an E minor shape like that and a D minor shape. So you're getting kind of like that. And next time it comes to the C chord, I played again just a chord based run using chords from the key of C major. So there's an A minor chord, an E minor chord, a D minor chord, and then going down to a C. So with something like that, and that sounded so pleasing to my ear that when the chord changed to an A minor coming up next, I just played exactly the same thing and play that over an A bass. You can hear that it perfectly articulates the sound of A minor. I'll just do the A bass note with my thumb. Then we're into the dying moments of the game now, because all I did next was we go to the A flat chord again, exactly the same approach as we've seen before a couple of times, using this shortened bar chord, thumb over the top kind of thing with the sus4, the major sixth and the add ninth. Then the same thing going up to the B flat, and then just rounding off the B flat with a little kind of, remember that way we started with, is that C major kind of thing, and I go into C major pentatonic. Well, if we move C major down 2 frets, we get B flat major. Like that, and then we finish on the C chord at the end. So there you go, that's how I do it. I'm not saying it's the same way that people like John Frusciante and John Mayer and Jimi Hendrix would do it, but that's how I do it, and it's certainly served me well over the years. I hope you found this informative, useful, and maybe even a little bit inspiring. If you have, why not hit the subscribe button and ring the notification bell while you're at it, and give me a like, you might as well. I'll just take an opportunity to mention at this point, as I always do, that there are some courses on sale on my website. There's the URL, the link is in the description box below. There's an introductory course to the whole art of lead guitar called Play Lead Guitar the Easy Way. The emphasis is on getting you playing licks and solos and understanding what you're doing in simple, plain English terms right from the word go. There's very little in terms of boring theory and repetitive, dull scale practice. The emphasis is on getting you playing. You get loads of licks, solos to learn, jam tracks to play along with, and as I say, everything's explained in clear, plain English. If you're after something a little bit more advanced, then check out Making the Modes Easy, the other course that's on sale. Again, same URL, and it basically does exactly what it says on the tin. It makes playing mode-based lead guitar an easy thing to do, basically because it is. And once again, lots of plain English, jargon-free explanations, loads of jam tracks, loads of licks to learn, everything you need to basically get you playing in that manner. Or if you prefer some tailored one-to-one guitar tuition, then give me a shout via the details at the end of this video. If you live on Teesside in the northeast of England, you can come along for a face-to-face lesson in this very room, or wherever else you are in the world, you can have a lesson via Skype. And whichever way you do it, your first lesson is, of course, free. So what have you got to lose? And with that, I'll bid you all a good day and say thank you very much for watching. Thank you for your time, and I look forward to seeing you all again next time around. Bye for now, folks.